Hello, I am Redmast and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, the new and improved version of Cyberpunk which many people said we should have gotten 3 years ago when the game first came out in 2020. I remember the day Cyberpunk came out.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, it was a buggy ass mess game, but now it's in a playable, amazing state, and I want to talk about the new update that it's gotten, as well as the new DLC, Phantom Liberty, which is its own main story, new section of the map, and missions that I think are just incredible as well. And I want to hear some of your opinions if you have played the game. If you haven't played the game, I'm not going to make any spoilers. It'll be all good, no spoilers, don't worry. This is one of my spoiler-free videos, which is rare with me because I like to spoil the shit out of things for people. But anyway, let's hit it off with talking about the story firstly, because Phantom Liberty includes another main story. It's more of like a side story that's it's not treated as a main quest, but it is completed as a main quest. It's very similar to how The Witcher 3 did its DLC. If you haven't played The Witcher 3, I say definitely go and do that. I mean, it's a cheap game currently. This game does it very similarly. It has a main storyline in this new section of the city, and it's minor spoiler. It's not really spoilers since this has been in every trailer for the game, but the gist of the new main missions is you've just got to save the president of the NUSA in the middle of Dogtown as her plane or rocket ship, yeah, they got rocket ships in this game, crashes into the dystopian area of Cyberpunk's Night City, which is saying something since Night City itself is kind of a dystopia. And this area is called Dogtown, obviously, and it's basically just a mission of, it becomes a big spy mission of who you can't trust, which is, fun. Standouts from the story are obviously Idris Elba's character Reed, who is just very well written, complex character. There's also Songbird, who I am not sure who the actress is actually, but she did very well in this role. She was also a very complex character. Don't really know how to describe these characters since they are spies, and this DLC uses the spy angle a bit differently. People say it's like playing James Bond game. It's not quite. It's got some James Bond-esque mechanics, but it's mostly a cyberpunk-esque thing where there are no happy endings, and it is still a depressing world. You are just this character in this world, and it makes it feel very immersive. And yeah, the story is just absolutely amazing. It took me about 20 hours to finish this. I think the story's only meant to be about 10 hours, but I like to listen through every single combo, everything I could do. And there were some missions that I kept getting killed on. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's some missions where it's very easy to die, plain and simple. And yeah, they're still fun. Like all of the missions saying, well, maybe one, not so much, but nearly all the missions were like top tier missions with beautiful visuals and great mechanics. And that's what I'm going to bring on to my next point, which is the new mechanics that just Cyberpunk has gotten in general, since there's been a big overhaul because this has been known as Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, is also known as Cyberpunk 2.0, which is where CD Projekt Red have replaced the old some of the old mechanics of the game, and just completely overhauled everything, just so it's in a very nice playable state. They changed the skill tree, which I absolutely love now. You can make great builds. There's still a slight issue with how the builds work, because at some point in the game you just become super overpowered. There's going to be characters, like enemies are meant to level with you, but it does at some point it just doesn't feel like it. It feels like you can murder everyone easily. I mean, I guess Cyberpunk isn't that much a boss fighting game, so yeah, it's not annoying, but there's also been some massive changes just to performance. The performance now, I barely have any visual bugs. I am running on a 260 graphics card. The game works beautifully on low level ray tracing, and I'm just enjoying the graphics. The Night City has always been absolutely beautiful, and it's just brilliant. Also, we now have a police force that patrols the city. They're everywhere. So you don't feel like when you do a crime, police show up in cars, or they might just be walking past you, and when they see a crime, they shoot at you, obviously. This is Night City. You've also just got a lot of just fixes on certain mechanics as well, like sword play and hit. Just a lot of action-related mechanics were kind of broken earlier, and they fixed a lot of them, like shooting through walls. It's only maybe done with tech weapons, and I definitely was able to shoot through walls with a lot of other weapons, which was fun, but this is a different game now. And it's just lovely to see those new mechanics, and all of them implemented for free, basically. My major point of why I just love this DLC is Dogtown. Oh my god, this place was amazing to go through. It's not huge, and they could have put a bit, I think once you've done everything in it, it does feel a bit stale. And they could have added a few more, like, just random gang checkpoints, because if you know, in Night City you have NCPD missions where you just go and kill a bunch of people and you can find some loot or whatever. They have a similar thing in Dogtown where there's a massive amount of one gang and you have to go in and kill them all. There's a boss battle at the end. I'm not sure what you call those. I think they're like called huge gang hiders. I can't remember the name. But yeah, I found but the problem is these great big action things which you can do. Sadly in Dogtown there's only 3 of those, and once I'd done and I found all 3 of them very early, so once I'd done all that and all the gigs in Dogtown, there wasn't a lot to do once I'd finished all the Phantom Liberty, which kind of annoyed me. I would have liked more. The thing with Night City is just absolutely huge, and there's loads of interactable things as well that you aren't even notified on the map. There are a lot of notifications on the map of where to go, but there's also just some random ones you just find randomly, and it's actually very nice. It feels like an immersive city. Felt like Dogtown didn't do that a lot. There was like maybe 1 or 2 where I found that happen, but for the most part I didn't actually find a lot of just real-time events happening. And Dogtown also just includes a variety of big, tall, apocalyptic looking structures. It's more built up than it is built in area. It's very different from Toussaint in the Witcher 3 game, which is a very large new area that's about the size of a new open world game, whilst Dogtown is pretty small actually if you actually look on the map of Cyberpunk. But it's still amazing. It's just the aesthetic itself alone is brilliant. I think the Bargus Militia, which is Kurt Hansen's new group who run at Dogtown, their design is really cool. You have these new mechs and stuff that you can fight that we don't fight in the main game because we have different robots in the main game, and these are like more, I don't know, put it Robocop-esque robots. If you've seen the Robocop films, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it was just amazing to just come into this area through the first mission of Phantom Liberty. Accessing Dogtown was just amazing, and it is so cool. The next, another thing I want to talk about in Dogtown in general is just that the side missions they do have are really good. Like, the gigs in the original version of Cyberpunk were hit and miss, a lot of them. A lot of them would just go here, kill these people, get this thing, leave, or help this person escape. Some of them had a good variety, and if you read some of the shards, they had like a really interesting story, like with Jotaro Shobo or with Frederick and Gottfried, I think is their names, and their industry horrible ideas. You know, they're just bad people, and they added a lot to the world. But for the most part, a lot of the gigs would just go here, upload a file or like blah 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 blah, escape, and it gets tiring after a while. It's not, these are meant to be actual missions that you get given by fixers, not NCPD missions, where in an NCPD mission, you know, your thing is just go here, kill these people, get some stuff, leave. But the gigs in Dogtown were different. They felt like actual side quests. They reminded me of the Witcher contracts from The Witcher 3, which were basically side quests with interactability, actual storylines. You had to do something, and there were animations and all that. And all these gigs had branching paths. You could end them in different ways. I enjoyed just how thorough the storylines feel in this massive new DLC. And it's the same with, there's I think about 19 new side missions and gigs. So I think there's 10 new gigs, and then there's like 9 new side missions, which is quite a lot. Not a massive amount, since in Watson alone there's about 23 gigs, and the main game is like God knows how many. I think it's well over 100, which is pretty stunning, to be honest. But these ones feel like they have a lot more energy put into them. There's one or two a bit meh ones, but for the most part, there's some really good ones. They're really good, and they feels like the writers have just gone over the top and done whatever they wanted with these new missions, because they've had a lot of time, and I'm happy for that. And in general, it just helps build the immersiveness, which is my last point. This game is now probably one of the most immersive I've played in a while. Night City feels like an actual lived-in place that you are living in. You're talking to your neighbours, you're talking to just random people on the streets, you're going to the shops, you're driving to work, you're doing all types of things. It feels lively. There's crowds in big mid-city places like downtown and Watson areas now. There aren't any buggy things where the characters don't look realistic. It feels like this place is inhabited by people. You can go in buildings, traversability is even better now. There's still some like non-solid parts higher up the buildings you get, but they're still pretty epic to be able to scale a city this size. Even GTA doesn't give us that, because for all GTA's worth, the movement is a bit. And I always felt like a Cyberpunk-esque game would be a great place to live in. Not in real life, but like in a video game. Just making sure that people understand that. But it just nails that feeling now, and I'm really glad that CD Projekt Red have had their redemption arc on this, as they've been able to make something that's absolutely amazing. And I'm now hyped for Project Orion, which is going to be the sequel to Cyberpunk. I'm not going to pre-order, because I'm going to get words from basically every single person on the internet if I say I'm pre-ordering any game ever again after the Cyberpunk debacle. But I am looking forward to it, is what I will say. Because as far as I'm concerned, CD Projekt Red have knocked it out of the park with this one, with an amazing new story for a DLC, great overhauled mechanics, a great new area, great new amount of missions and gigs, and they've just upped the immersion to a new level where I gotta say, this game is actually really fun to play now, and still to this day has great storytelling. And it had it when it's the main thing that CD Projekt Red always do well is the storytelling, and it's no different in Cyberpunk. If you pick up this game, you will enjoy the storytelling, you will enjoy the immersion now. I'm going to give Cyberpunk a good 9 out of 10 now. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Cyberpunk 2.0. Do not think I'm talking about the release of Cyberpunk. The actual Cyberpunk 2077 that released 3 years ago is a goddamn 2 out of 10. The 2 coming from the story, nothing else. The story and side missions, nothing else. It was bad, plain and simple. Even I didn't really finish it until around last year. So if you enjoy watching my content, please comment and maybe subscribe. I don't really care. because this is fun to do, and I'm hoping to make more videos about video games now, because I'm a game student. Cut that part out, actually. Anyway, see you guys in the next one.